Who aligned a corridor to a star that no longer rises? Beneath the city's sleepless stones, a hush lingers where prayers once burned. The night air is cool and heavy, carrying the scent of dust and oil. Lantern light trembles across carvings buried for millennia, casting golden ripples on faces that have waited lifetimes to witness them. Each breath feels stolen from time. In this place, history feels alive, like a living pulse beneath the sand. The walls hum faintly, or perhaps it is the heart beating in their chests. When Dr. Elias Marin touches the cold stone, he feels the weight of every secret ever whispered to God. Somewhere above, the city of Jerusalem sleeps, unaware of the tremor rising below. And in that tremor lies a question, not of where the ark went, but whether it ever truly left at all. The echo of that light lingers long after it fades. Above the chamber, the old city lies still, unaware that its foundation has just whispered. In the ruins' quiet, Father Thomas breathes deeply, clutching his crucifix close. Dr. Marin cannot stop replaying the shimmer in his mind. A glint of truth, or illusion born of hope. Leela, steady and silent, records every mark, every sound, her heart balanced between faith and reason. The ark's absence feels heavier than its presence ever could. Somewhere in the shifting sands of memory, something sacred waits to be remembered. By dawn, the chamber is sealed again. Only the wind knows what lies beneath. The city awakens with prayers and footsteps, but none echo from below. Dr. Marin walks the narrow alleyways in silence, burdened by wonder. Layla keeps close, her notebook pressed to her chest. Father Thomas lingers at the gate, muttering blessings to stone and air. Somewhere deep within, Jonas believes he saw something divine, but dares not speak of it. That night, Layla dreams of light pulsing beneath the stones. In her vision, the ark breathes, not metal or wood, but living gold, shaped by faith itself. When she wakes, a strange stillness fills her chest. Dr. Marin sits by a candle, scribbling theories. Father Thomas reads from a worn journal, lips moving silently. Jonas stares at the photographs. Every frame shows the same shimmer, though no one remembers seeing it. As dawn breaks, the team prepares to leave. The desert wind hums low, whispering through the ancient stones. Dr. Marin looks back one last time, feeling the ground hum faintly beneath his boots. Lila closes her notebook, its final line unfinished. Father Thomas blesses the ground, and Jonas watches the sunrise, soft gold, like the light they found below. None speak of it again. Yet somewhere, beneath the temple's shadow, something unseen still breathes. Long before the chambers fell silent, there was a king who sought to speak with God. Solomon's kingdom shimmered beneath a sky so bright it seemed to burn through stone. In his courts, the ark rested beneath gold and cedar beams, its brilliance outshining the sun. But even power bends to prophecy. Whispers spoke of a son born of distant lands, one who would carry the light south, away from the walls of Jerusalem. The ark's story began not with its making, but with the moment Solomon looked upon his creation and feared he had gone too far. The line between faith and pride blurred, and the first shadow of loss crept into the light. The queen's journey from Sheba was long and carved in dust. She had come not for riches but for wisdom, to see if the king who held the ark truly spoke with the divine. Beneath desert stars, she asked questions that trembled with both faith and defiance. Solomon, moved by her courage, offered not answers, but silence. And in that silence she felt the hum, a sacred pulse from within the ark's chamber. She knew then that her people's destiny would one day carry that light far beyond the reach of his throne. When Makeda returned home, she carried more than gold or knowledge. The whispers say she bore a secret, a son, Meliak, born beneath the shadow of two kingdoms. He would grow to seek his father, and through him, the ark. When the two met, Solomon wept. For the boy mirrored his youth, but carried a deeper fire. Prophecy moved between them like wind over ancient drums. In one final act of devotion or defiance, Menelik took the ark, not by theft, but by calling. Some say angels lifted it. Others say Solomon let it go. The ark's departure was silent. No trumpet sounded, no cry rose. It left Jerusalem in darkness, carried on shoulders wrapped in linen, moving south through moonlit dunes. The stars above formed a perfect line. The same alignment etched in Solomon's chamber. The ark glowed faintly, like a heartbeat within a coffin of light. In that glow, faith was neither lost nor found. It was transformed. The desert became its sanctuary, its silence the only hymn. By the time the caravan vanished into the Ethiopian highlands, Solomon's palace was already empty of light. He sat alone before an altar that no longer glowed, whispering the same question into the silence. Had he lost a treasure or freed it? Far to the south, in Axum, priests carved sanctuaries into mountain stone, guided by dreams of thunder wrapped in gold. And thus, the ark began its second life. Not as a symbol of kings, but as the heart of a people who never doubted it was theirs. In the heart of Ethiopia, where mountains pierce the clouds and rivers run red with clay, a stone church hums with the sound of chanting. Gone. The centuries have softened the memory of kings. Yet here, the ark is said to breathe still, hidden, wrapped, alive. Each dawn, monks rise before light touches the valley, their voices trembling in rhythm with thunder rolling beyond the cliffs. They do not call it a relic. They call it his presence. Beneath their silence, a vow passes from one generation to the next, that none may look upon it, yet all must guard it. For in its unseen glow, they find proof that faith can live without sight. They say the ark hums when rain approaches. In the hush before the storm, the air grows electric, the walls alive with whispers. Abba Tadasi has heard it since he was a boy. That soft vibration beneath his knees when he prays. Now, his hands tremble as thunder rumbles beyond the cliffs. He has spent his entire life guarding what he cannot touch. To him, the ark is not an object, but a pulse. Faith, to him, is not proof. It is surrender. As the first drops fall, the chapel walls echo the sound, as if heaven itself were breathing in rhythm. Far beyond the mountains, word spreads of a foreign scholar seeking proof. He travels through dust and rain, guided by rumors and old maps. When he reaches the monastery, silence greets him. The monks allow him inside, but offer no words, only incense and stillness. He kneels with them, uncertain, his science melting into reverence. That night, he dreams of a light that hums like a heartbeat beneath his chest. He wakes changed, not by what he saw, but by what remained unseen. The night grows long. Dr. Cole cannot sleep. Outside his small cell, the wind carries chants that sound older than language. He imagines the ark behind the walls, not as an artifact, but as a living current of light. Abba Tadesi's words echo softly. Only the pure may guard what cannot be owned. In the dark, Cole realizes purity has nothing to do with knowledge. It is silence. It is stillness. It is letting go of wanting to know. The thunder fades, and in its wake comes peace so deep, it feels eternal. At dawn, the rain stops. The valley gleams like polished bronze. Abba Tadesi steps outside the chapel, his breath misting in the cool air. The world feels lighter, the clouds lifting as if heaven itself has exhaled. He looks to the horizon, where sunlight spills over the mountains, the same light that once crowned Solomon's city. He smiles faintly, knowing the ark will never be found, because it has never been lost. It lives in every vow whispered, every dawn greeted with faith, every silence that hums with unseen light. The year is 1191. The air above Jerusalem tastes of iron and dust. The Crusades have turned the holy city into a storm of banners, prayers, and grief. In the ruins near the Temple Mount, torches flicker against blood-stained stone. Amid the chaos, a lone knight searches not for conquest, but for something older. A relic whispered to command heaven itself. He believes the Ark was never destroyed, only hidden, waiting for those pure enough, or desperate enough, to find it again. Beneath the clang of swords, he hears another sound, a heartbeat buried in the earth. Rumors drift through the Crusader camps like ghosts. Some claim the Templars already hold the Ark in secret. Others whisper it is buried beneath the very chapel they built atop Solomon's ruins. Sir Roland listens, yet doubts all but what he has seen. A symbol carved into a wall, older than Christendom itself. Brother Matthew warns him that obsession has turned wiser men into heretics. Still, the knight cannot rest. He dreams of wings made of fire, of a voice calling his name in the dark. To him, the Ark is not power, it is redemption. One night, under a moon veiled by clouds, they descend into the catacombs beneath the temple ruins. The air is cold and close, heavy with incense and bones. Carvings on the wall show angels carrying a chest into darkness. Roland runs his hand across them, feeling warmth where there should be none. A hidden passage opens, as if the earth itself yields to his touch. Brother Matthew crosses himself, whispering prayers against his fear. Sister Aveline follows silently, her torch shaking. They do not yet realize they are being followed. They reach a sealed door deep beneath the city. On its surface, wings spread across the stone, not carved but burned. The heat still radiates faintly after centuries. Roland touches the symbol and a whisper fills the tunnel. It is not yours to see. Matthew drops to his knees, trembling. Aveline grips Roland's arm, pleading for him to stop. Behind them, the two knights exchange uneasy glances. And then, betrayal. Steel flashes. Roland turns too late as Benoit. Blade pierces Matthew's side. The torches flare as if in judgment. The Ark's secret, it seems, has already claimed another soul. By dawn, only two emerge from the catacombs. Aveline's hands are stained crimson, her heart hollowed by what she has seen. Roland, wounded and silent, carries Matthew's rosary around his neck. Behind them, the passage seals itself as if breathing one final sigh. No one speaks of the night again. The Templar records mark the event only as the Lost Vigil. Yet whispers endure. That beneath the temple, a light still burns, awaiting those who seek without greed. For in every age, faith hides, not from darkness, but within it. Beneath the marble heart of Rome lies a library that never sees the sun. The air smells of wax and vellum, of ink older than memory. Here, among towers of sealed scrolls, whispers speak of relics too dangerous to name. Father Giancarlo Ventresca has spent his life decoding forbidden verses, and tonight he has found one line that chills him. The Ark rests where angels measure time. The words hum like prophecy. He feels it, the echo of thunder hidden behind silence, the pulse of something vast waiting to be remembered. Above him, the bells of St. Peter's toll midnight. Morning finds the Vatican washed in gold, yet the archive still hums with unease. Giancarlo copies the verse by hand, each letter trembling under his quill. Lucia stands near the window, watching sunlight slide across Rome's domes. She senses that the scripture speaks not of a place, but of an alignment. A star once worshipped, now long gone. Paolo warns that the Pope forbade any further inquiry. The last priest who sought the Ark vanished into silence. Still, curiosity burns brighter than obedience. Giancarlo whispers, "Truth cannot be locked away forever." Outside, the bells toll none. At dusk, they descended deeper. Through corridors closed for centuries, The torches sputter as they pass iron doors stamped with papal seals. Paulo mutters prayers under his breath. Lucia counts her steps, steady and unafraid. At the corridor's end lies a chamber shaped like an eye. In its center rests a marble pedestal engraved with celestial maps. Giancarlo reads the Latin aloud, his voice echoing like a chant. When heaven's gate aligns with earth's shadow, the covenant awakens. The flame flickers blue. Somewhere above, thunder rolls over Rome. That night, the Pope himself visits the archive. His steps are slow, his eyes shadowed. He listens as Giancarlo explains the discovery, the verse, the map, the alignment due in 7 nights. The pontiff's silence is heavy. Then he orders the scroll sealed and the vault locked. Some truths, he says, protect us by remaining hidden. But Lucia sees doubt in his gaze. Later, alone, she copies the map in secret. Faith, she thinks, was never meant to fear the light. Outside, rain begins to fall over the city's domes like quiet applause. When the bells of St. Peter's toll midnight again, the vault lies empty. The scroll and its copy are gone. Guards whisper that Lucia fled through the rain. Others claim she was summoned by angels. Giancarlo returns to the Chamber of Constellations and kneels where the pedestal once stood. He feels warmth rising from the stone. The same hum once felt beneath Jerusalem. Paolo swears he hears distant thunder, though the skies are clear. In that quiet, Giancarlo smiles. Some mysteries are never solved. They are merely passed from trembling hands to faithful hearts. The desert remembers everything. Beneath dunes that shift like slow oceans, the bones of empires lie still. Dr. Evelyn Hart has spent her life tracing stories the world calls myth. Tonight, under a sky thick with stars, she feels closer than ever to truth. Satellite scans reveal a buried structure beneath the sand. Symmetrical, deliberate, ancient. Her team prepares the dig, their faces glowing in the firelight. The Ark's name is never spoken aloud, yet every heart beats with the same quiet hope. The wind sighs through the dunes, carrying voices that sound almost human. At dawn, the sand yields its first secret. Stone steps appear where none should exist, carved with strange spirals that pulse faintly beneath sunlight. Evelyn runs her fingers over the patterns, her breath trembling. Daniel murmurs that they match ancient Solomonic seals. Lena photographs in silence. Omar begins a quiet prayer. The desert wind hums low, like the beginning of a song. For a heartbeat, the air thickens, warm, electric, alive. Warm, electric, alive. Evelyn feels as though the earth itself has remembered something sacred. Then, as quickly as it came, the feeling fades. By nightfall, they reach the chamber. Sand gives way to cold air and polished walls. It feels less like a tomb and more like a sanctuary. Daniel deciphers the script aloud, references to the voice of fire and the hidden light. Evelyn listens, her pulse quickening. In the center of the chamber lies an empty pedestal, carved with cherubim wings. A silence fills the air that feels almost alive. Lena's flashlight flickers and Omar mutters a verse from memory. Evelyn realizes then, the pedestal isn't empty, it's waiting. The next morning, a storm rises from nowhere. The desert sky darkens, swallowing the sun. Evelyn and her team rush to cover the site, but the wind roars like a living thing. The sands twist upward, spiraling around the opening. In the chaos, Evelyn glimpses light from within the chamber. Soft, golden, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. For a single moment, she feels weightless, her thoughts dissolving into silence. Then the wind collapses and the light is gone. When the storm settles, the entrance is sealed once more. The desert has reclaimed its secret. When calm returns, the desert is smooth again. No chamber, no stairs, no trace. Only the memory of the hum remains in Evelyn's chest. She stands alone on the dune as dawn breaks, her team silent behind her. Some mysteries, she realizes, aren't meant to be uncovered, but remembered. She kneels, pressing her palm to the sand. The warmth beneath her hand feels alive, as if something deep below still breathes. In the distance, thunder rolls once, soft and distant, like a promise echoing through time. Weeks later, back in Jerusalem, the world moves as it always has. Markets buzz, prayers rise, children run through narrow alleys. Yet for Evelyn, everything feels slower, suspended between breath and echo. She walks the old streets at dawn, hearing the stones murmur beneath her boots. Somewhere deep below, she imagines the pulse still beating, waiting, forgiving. The Ark is not lost, she thinks. It simply no longer needs to be found. The wind carries a hint of incense, and she smiles, sensing that history's greatest secret was never about the relic, but the faith that kept seeking it. In the quiet of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Evelyn kneels among strangers. Candles sway like tiny suns, their wax scent mingling with centuries of prayer. She closes her eyes, listening, not for answers, but for the soft rhythm beneath the silence. Daniel's voice murmurs a verse in Latin. Omar hums an old Coptic hymn. Lena sits apart, sketching the glow of the candles. For the first time, none of them feel like seekers. They are witnesses to a peace that hums within every heartbeat, the same hum that once filled a stone chamber long ago. That night, a storm passes over the desert again. Evelyn dreams she is walking beneath the sand, following a trail of light that pulses with her footsteps. When she reaches the chamber, the pedestal is gone. In its place floats a mirror of water. She leans over it and sees her reflection shimmer, surrounded by stars. A voice, neither male nor female, whispers, "The covenant was never kept. It was remembered." She wakes with tears on her face, the echo fading like rain on stone. Morning arrives without sound. They pack the camp, each movement unhurried, reverent. The dunes stretch endless and golden, no trace of the site that once burned with mystery. Evelyn writes a single line in her journal. The Ark is everywhere light touches. Daniel smiles at the words, placing a hand on her shoulder. Omar bows his head to the wind, whispering a prayer. Lena photographs the final sunrise and lowers her camera slowly, knowing this frame will be her last. The desert is silent, yet it sings. That evening, back in the city, Evelyn stands on her hotel balcony overlooking Jerusalem. Lights shimmer across the hills, each window a tiny prayer. She closes her eyes and hears it again. That hum, soft as breath, steady as the heart. Somewhere beneath these stones, the mystery sleeps, but it no longer calls. The search is over. The silence shines. She smiles, whispers goodnight to the unseen, and lets the night wind carry the last question away into the stars.